It's not always pleasant outdoors, so this can be a real pain, which is why I'm glad MyEnergi have finally released their app. So I'm really excited about this app because it's going to mean that you don't have to go outside to program up your Zappy. Plus it gives you a really great insight into where the energy in your home is going. Now, to work the app you're going to need the hub, which I installed here a few weeks ago. It wasn't the best experience, but I did manage to get it working. Now, installing the app itself and setting it up is a little bit of a process. What you have to do is you have to obviously download the app from the App Store or the Play Store, but then you have to enter the serial number of the hub and also go out to your Zappy or your Eddy unit, go into the info menu, scroll down to the very bottom and you'll see what looks like a few digits with a dash in between, and you also have to put that in. Once you've got those two details, you can then go ahead, create a name for your system and set up a username, set up a password associated with it. I did notice in my app the password is in plain text in the app, which okay, so it's not got the little dots instead of the actual password. But I just hope that means that the password isn't in clear text actually at the server end. So you know, maybe just a little thing there that they want to just grey out when you're typing. I also had an issue where because I had these problems with the hub itself not being connected, I kept getting invalid credentials, and I think that was because when I created the account hadn't actually tied itself up with the hub in my home, and therefore it wasn't able to fully create the account. So I had to, like I say, I had to do a little bit of playing around with the hub itself to get the blue light to come back on, and then eventually everything worked out just fine. So when the app was released, I had a look at my hub and I noticed that the server light was red. So I had to reset it a couple of times, and I don't know why that was the case, but I did see a note on their forum saying that they had some trouble with their server. So that was a bit strange. Now, the server light on the hub should be green after you've registered the app. It's 3 states. Green is when you've got the app registered and it's all good. Blue is when it's connected to the server but you haven't registered the app, and red is when it can't connect to the server. So let's have a quick look at the app and see what it gives you. I've downloaded it onto my phone and we can have a quick look. So on the MyEnergi app on my iPhone, it has a dev next to the name, which I guess means that it's still a bit of a work in progress. If we go into the app, you can see the various icons around. Now, the top icon is the home, and that will show consumption by the home. The grid is obviously the one on the right there with the pylon, and the bottom one is the solar, and of course the left hand side is the car. Now, each of these icons you can actually click into. So if I click into the car, we get all of the options regarding the Zappy. So I can set the charge mode, fast, eco or eco plus, and in the eco plus you can see that I can then select the amount of electricity to take from the grid versus how much to take from the solar to enable charging to begin. Further down you've got all the boost features, and you've got a bit of a history going on there as well, although I don't seem to be able to see the history and I'm not sure why. So the boost function down here is something that's actually a little bit more tricky to set up in the Zappy menu itself. So it's nice to see this here in the app. The timed section is the really useful feature if you've got a time of day tariff, and you can see here that I've already set mine up in anticipation of my Octopus Go tariff starting later on in the month. Now, one of the things that you can do here is you can hit the plus and you can start to define the duration and the days of the week that you want that charge to happen. This is much simpler than using the actual Zappy interface itself, so I'm really glad that this feature is here already. Now, I've taken a few screen videos of this app in various states, which I'll show you now. So in this one you can see that the car is consuming energy, you can see that the energy isn't actually coming from anywhere, and that's because I don't have the CT clamp measuring generation from my solar array. So all of this energy is coming from my solar array. It just doesn't appear in the app because I don't have that CT clamp sensor. You can see that no energy is coming from the grid in this one. In this example, we're actually boiling the kettle, which is a 3 kilowatt kettle. So you can see here that actually most of the kettle's energy is being sustained by the solar array, but it's actually having to draw around 0.6 kilowatts from the grid to make up the balance of the 3 kilowatts that the kettle requires to operate. Good. Now the app needs you to have installed a number of sensors in your home to work properly. Now what I mean by that is that in the instructions for the Zappy you can use 2 inductive couplings to detect energy flow in your house. The first one is to detect where energy is being exported from your home. That's crucial for Zappy being able to know when there's surplus energy coming off of your solar installation that could be directed into the car. Now that is the only CT clamp that you really need to make the Zappy work. However, now that the app can give you a lot more granularity as to where your energy is going, you can also have an optional CT clamp that goes onto the wires coming from your solar generation. So what that means is the app can determine how much energy is being consumed in your home, how much energy is coming off of your roof, and how much energy is being exported. It can't do that just with one CT clamp because it doesn't know what the difference is. So you do need to install a second CT clamp. Now some of you may have done this in your original installation. I haven't, and so I am not getting the benefits of the app. Well, I'm not getting the full benefits of the app right now. So I'm going to invest in another CT clamp. I may even invest in the Eddy, because another thing that I've got here at home at the moment is the solar iBoost, which heats my hot water with surplus electricity. Now one of the things that I've noticed about the app is that it gives you so much granularity. You want to have a complete picture of your home, and of course this is the MyEnergi business model coming into its own here, because they are creating a number of devices for use in the home. You want to buy all the MyEnergi ones so that you can see everything in the one view, which is a fantastic model. Hats off to them. I think it's a great idea. Now I'm quite happy with my solar iBoost because it works flawlessly. If I did want to keep the solar iBoost, I believe that I can get another Harvey unit and put another CT clamp around the iBoost immersion heater cable, so that I can then look at the amount of electricity being consumed by the immersion heater. But I don't get any control over it that way. So the MyEnergi Eddy device would allow me to choose what energy goes where. So I could prioritise the car, I could prioritise the hot water, and I could do all of this from the app, so I get a lot more control. So I think I will invest in the Eddy at some point, and add that to the home. But you know, you don't have to do this immediately. You can build your system up, which is another great idea, that you can sort of slowly build up your home with these different products. So that's a little bit about the MyEnergi app. I hope you found that interesting, and if you did, like it, subscribe, do all those things that you should do, that every YouTuber tells you to do. If you don't want to do them, I really don't mind, but we will see you in the next one.